have this image in my mind of like the Byzantine emperor walking out onto a grand balcony of like the fourth story of his castle and going, "My wife cheated on me," and everyone's like, "Yay!" Wait, oh,
To be
boo.
fair, your joke is not actually that far off.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Friday edition of Crusaders Court. As always, I'm your friendly neighborhood community manager, Troy, here to discuss the ins and outs of Crusader Kings with you. But today we have George with us, one of our content designers. Say hi to the people, George.
Hello, Twitch and other people who watch this stream through various media. I am George. I'm a content designer on Crusader Kings III, newly minted, so I'm still learning the ropes. But I'm very glad to be here today. We're starting as the Byzantine Empire and the date 867, playing as this guy whose name is Vasilios, because of course. He has, in this time frame historically, he has just murdered the last emperor and taken control of the empire himself. I'll talk a little bit about him as I play through and try not to make too many mistakes. Full disclosure though, despite being a content designer for Crusader Kings 3, I haven't played too much of the game recently. Oh, he's already got stuff in Gallant. I'd like them to have Overseer because I'm going to sort of RP this. In terms of the sort of person that Vasilios was.
Please do.
So it may come back to bite me, but I'm going to give it a good go. We'll start in a war. They're trying to take over Sicily down here. Essentially, they want this one county. Now, I don't really want this one county either, but it would be boring if I didn't fight a war.
Yes. So
obviously we're gonna raise our boys. There is a certain amount of trepidation. I've got to unpause again, haven't I? Derp. There's a certain amount of trepidation. Oh, we got Constantinos now.
Yay.
I says keep an eye on Constantinos Macedon. I will, because historically he dies and doesn't get to be emperor after.
He very dies.
After Basilios. So that was going off the same style as the stream last week when Bohemond died, but he wasn't supposed to. Constantinos is supposed to die. And I'll be very unhappy if he lives. I actually come from an academic background. Oh, my wife's pregnant. Fantastic.
Oh, nice. Right
I come from an academic background. I'd actually completed my thesis on the Byzantines, so
nice.
I know a fair amount of this sort of stuff.
Just a little bit.
Which is why I agreed to do this. Well, one of the reasons why I agreed to do this. Obviously, the other reason is to talk to you guys, and then thoroughly embarrass myself with my epic misplays. But well, that's perfect. We captured the Sultan straight away, which means this war is over.
Bang!
Bam! I'm starting on a luck roll. Then again, he hasn't got very many soldiers left. So,
So I like how your stream is literally capturing the ruler of the Wednesday stream, like in the first turn. Just that was
wow,
beautiful.
Oh no, my wife is no longer pregnant.
Oh, no.
She lost the baby.
Oh no!
It's a shame.
It's a shame.
But I've still got Leon. Now, historically speaking, this is the guy who inherits. This is he wouldn't necessarily be called Prince Leon. He'd probably be called at this point just Leon. But he's Porphyrogenitos, so born in the purple. He inherits the empire after his father dies. His father and him didn't historically have the best relationship. In fact, his father threatened to disown him several times on the basis that there was suspicion, although I think this may have been an invention of later chroniclers, suspicion that the true father of Leon was not in fact Vasilios, but was in fact Vasilios' victim, Michael III, the previous emperor. This is the event I talked about questionable parentage. Do I want to know? Wow.
Probably not.
Let's find out. If she's been a bit of a strumpet, I can always send her away. I'm quite early on in the game.
Yes, correct.
Every time I say top tip, my wife does something suspicious.
You do. It's a curse. You cursed yourself already.
Okay. My wife has been unfaithful to me.
See, I told you. And it was due Nika for us. Didn't we just get rid of this guy? Didn't we just get rid of this guy? And now he's...
No, it was Nikitas we got rid of.
Nikitas,
This
okay.
is
Okay,
one of
good.
the many Nikophodos. It's a great name,
It is.
Nikophodos. It means bringer of victory.
Oh.
It's always
I
ironic
know.
when they fail.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah, let's just tell everybody that she's been sleeping with somebody else and get somebody better.
I have this image in my mind of like the Byzantine emperor walking out onto a grand balcony of like the fourth story of his castle and going, "My wife cheated on me," and everyone's like, "Yay!" Wait. Oh,
to be fair, your joke is not actually that far off how things were communicated. The people of Constantinople played a very important role in imperial politics. They made their displeasure known several times, most notably in events that occurred when this guy here was emperor.
Yep.
Okay. Why is everyone having relations except me? What is this? The reason why... Oh, Marshall, fantastic. The reason why this was actually a fairly stable border was because if I just quickly switch to terrain map mode, it is fairly faithfully represented in... This is the Anatolian Plateau, right? This here are the Taurus and Anti-Taurus mountains, and it's very easy to defend this because there are only a few mountain passes here which you can actually get stuff through, more or less, geographically speaking. Not the same anymore, but the problem, what the Byzantines would do is they practice defense in depth, where the Muslims would come raiding over the border. They knew they couldn't stop them because it took a while for the Byzantines to raise men. So they'd let them come in, let them raid, and then when they tried to go back to the same pass on the way back home, they got ambushed and all killed. And that was how it went for a while. Where do these armies keep coming from? I swear.
Well, you see, when a mommy army and a daddy army love each other very much, they have a little baby army. And that's where these guys come from.
Well, yes, as I was saying a while ago, Bulgaria was the biggest threat to the Byzantines in this period, not the Abbasids. The Abbasids were sort of falling apart. There was a lot of naval warfare going on here, but it was actually coming from sort of Africa and Egypt rather than Syria and Arabia. Michael III's predecessor, so Basilios's predecessor's predecessor, he was a man called Theophilos, and he had a special a special fondness for Arabs. He even ended up constructing a new palace in the Arabic style. Sadly, it's not there anymore. Or at least we think we found some parts of it somewhere in Thrace, but sort of around this area. But it's not there anymore. But it was an imitation Arab palace to demonstrate to the Arabs how revered they were inside his empire. The main people in this problem are the Bulgarians. But until the final defeat of Bulgaria by Basilios II. I keep calling them Basil because it's been anglicized as Basil, but I cannot imagine an emperor just say, "Hey, it's Emperor Basil." No, it just doesn't work.
Hello, I'm named after a plant.
You're named after a plant. Yes, that would be no, because think about. I'd have to consult with my colleagues about medieval herbs because, interestingly enough, it's not on the map actually, but all the nutmeg in the medieval world comes from Indonesia, all the way down here. If ever you wanted nutmeg, it would have to travel a very long way before it got to you.
Something about a spice road or something.
One of my favourite emperors, Basilios II, but like his namesake, Basilios I, who we are currently playing as, an absolute bastard. During his campaigns against Bulgarians, he ordered that Bulgarian prisoners after the battle, several thousand of them, be blinded. Like
you do.
Yeah, he wasn't messing around. Then again, he had a very troubled childhood. Famous house of Balgodosk. Interestingly, right through God is pretty much what the current motto of the British royal family is. Interesting. Here's another interesting fact for you. The word bugger, which is often used in British English slang as some sort of swear, it actually comes from the Bulgarians.
Oh.
It's a heresy that was associated with the region, with the historical region of Bulgaria, and as a result, people called these heretics Bulgars, and then that was also happened to be the ethnic title for the ethnonym, as it were, for Bulgarians. So yeah, more you know.
Yep. That's a way to horribly insult an entire people right there.
Oh, my background. Yes. So this is a mosaic. It's in the Basilica of San Vitale in Ravenna, in Italy, northern Italy. Ravenna was the capital of the Roman Empire, of the later Roman Empire, and then when Justinian reclaimed parts of the West, it was his administrative capital for a while.
Right.
And as the Exarchate of Ravenna. But this mosaic, it features here, I believe. That's Justinian in the middle, wearing purple.
Yep.
And then to the other side of him, I think there, that's Bishop Maximinian, Archbishop Maximinian. There's another one, another mosaic featuring his wife and some eunuchs, his wife Theodora. It's some of the only surviving artwork of the period, because a lot of stuff didn't survive, especially in churches. A lot of stuff didn't survive iconoclasm, but it was fortunate that this was commissioned in Italy when the Byzantines were around, and then when the Byzantines were destroying church artwork, they didn't own Ravenna anymore.
Oh,
so
it makes sense.
Yeah.
This isn't yours
sense
to destroy. Go away.
Exactly. I think it's beautiful, and I've always wanted to see it for myself. But I have it as my background now, so you don't see the horrible mess I've made of my apartment.
How dare you live in your own living space?
You can have me back to talk about any other period of Byzantine history.
Yeah.
I could sit here and talk for hours, but I was too busy trying to get my wife killed.
Nope, that was it. We wrapped up the entirety of Byzantine history in 1 hour. Done. Right? Isn't that how that works?
Well, at least I don't have to suffer any more of your puns, Troy.
They are pretty punishing. I understand.
Oh God, why did I do that? Oh